magic, white and black, the science of finite and infinite life. Nature is still a unity, and every part of it stands in a certain definite relation to the whole. Nothing is left to chance. Everything has its number, measure, and weight, and there is nothing in nature which is not ruled by mathematical laws. Suns and stars have their periodical revolutions. The molecules of bodies combine in certain proportions known to chemistry, and in all events on the physical plane as well as in the realm of the emotions, a certain regularity and periodicity has been observed. There are regular hours for the appearance of day and night, fixed intervals for spring and summer, autumn and winter, for ebbs and tides in the ocean and in the waters constituting the soul. The physiological and anatomical changes in animal forms occur at fixed periods, and even the events of life take place according to certain occult laws. Because although man's actions seem to be free, yet his actions are caused by his will, and his will is influenced by his mental states, which are again the effects of still deeper causes that find their origin in the supreme law. The followers of Pythagoras knew every process in nature to be regulated by certain numbers, which are as follows. This table represents a succession of numbers which are obtained by the construction of tetragrams or magic squares, and it was believed that by the use of these numbers every effect could be calculated if the original number referring to the cause were known. If everything has a certain number of vibrations, and if these vibrations increase or diminish at a certain ratio and in regular periods, a knowledge of these numbers will enable us to predict a future event. Every person has a certain number that expresses his character, and if we know that number, we may, by the use of the magic squares, calculate certain periodical changes in his mental and emotional states, which may induce him to make certain changes in his outward conditions, and in this way we may perhaps calculate approximately the time when some important changes may take place in his career. But as the numbers of men are known only to the enlightened, who do not require such calculations, these magic squares are at present of little practical value, and of none whatever for the purpose of fortune-telling, or to satisfy idle curiosity in regard to future events. This law of periodicity is, however, an universal law, and an attention to it may lead to some important discoveries. Its actions have long ago been known to exist in the vibrations producing light and sound, and it has recently been recognized in chemistry by experiments tending to prove that all so-called simple elements are only various states of vibrations of one primordial element, manifesting itself in 7 principal modes of action, each of which may be subdivided into 7 again. The difference which exists between so-called single substances appears therefore to be no difference of substance or matter, but only a difference of the function of matter or in the ratio of its atomic vibration. The occultists of all ages have looked upon the 7 as being a sacred number. The religious books of the East speak of 7 emanations of Parabrahma, and there is a sufficient number of passages in the Apocalypse and in other parts of the Bible to make it appear that the relation which this mysterious number bears to the construction of the universe has not escaped the attention of the Christian fathers. The ancient philosophers believed that there were 7 planets in our solar system, and modern scientists base their claims of their superiority over the ancient astronomers upon the fact that they have discovered more planets and asteroids than were known in ancient times. Eternal truths which are cognizable to the spiritual perception of the illuminated of today must be the same that was seen by seers thousands of years ago, because such truths do not change, neither can a true spiritual perception make any mistakes. It is therefore probable that if the exoteric doctrines of the ancients spoke of 7 planets, the esoteric meaning was that there existed 6 planetary spheres which, including the central sphere, produced 7. According to the prevailing opinion in regard to the nebula theory, our planetary system has been evolved from the original substance, fire mist, that constituted the body of the Sun, forming an immense sphere extending beyond the orbit of Neptune. If we imagine in a sphere a centrifugal force radiating from the center towards the periphery, and a centripetal force acting towards the center, there will be a point between the center and the periphery where the 2 opposing forces meet. At that point, their straight motions will either counteract each other and there will be a standstill, or, what is more probable, the radial force will be broken and transformed into a revolving motion around a new center formed at the place of contact. In such a case, there would be not less than 6 bodies to enclose the 7th on all sides. But as to the number of corporeal planetary bodies visible on the sky, this is a matter belonging to the investigation of mundane astronomy. Occult science deals with principles. The ultimate outcome of the expressions of these principles in corporeal forms is a matter of secondary importance. The number 7 represents the scale of nature. It is found in all departments of nature, from the radiant sun whose light is broken by a dewdrop into the 7 colors of the rainbow, down to the snowflake crystallizing in 6 pointed stars around the invisible center. The law of 7 has been found to rule in the development and growth of vegetable and animal organisms, in the constitution of the universe, and in the constitution of man. Seven is the rule by which the totality of existence is measured, but 5 is the number of harmony. If the 5th note in the musical scale is in accord with the 1st and the 3rd, harmony will be the result. There are other accords which are harmonious, but the most perfect accord is caused by the harmony of the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. The sounds may be harmonious, but to attain a perfect accord, a 3rd one is required. Each man's life is a symphony in which either harmonious or discordant tunes may prevail. The power by which harmony is produced is the power of love. This tendency presupposes the power of mutual recognition. Recognition is a manifestation of consciousness. Consciousness is a manifestation of life. Life, love, consciousness, harmony are essentially one, the opposite of which is discord and death. Why do some notes, if sounded together, produce harmony, if not on account of the similarity of the elements that compose them coming to the consciousness of our own mind? Mutual recognition among friends causes joy, and joy means harmony, happiness, and content. If we listen to beautiful music, the air seems filled with life. If the principle of harmony exists within ourselves, we may recognize it in the music, and it becomes alive in our soul. A discordant being may listen to the most beautiful music and be left cold because there is no harmony within his own soul. If a principle becomes conscious of its own existence in another form and recognizes its beauty in that form in its purity and unalloyed by any adulteration, perfect harmony is the result. If 2 or more things contain the same element, these elements are justly adapted to each other and seek to unite because they are constituted alike. They vibrate together as one. The planets are attracted to the sun and to each other because they all contain the same elements seeking to reunite, and the power of gravitation is nothing else but the power of love. Man is attracted to woman and woman to man because they perceive in each other the elements of their own highest ideal. And the more their common ideal becomes manifest in each, the more will they love each other and be fully contented. Man and woman can only truly love each other if they are both either consciously or unconsciously attracted by the same ideal. In each human being exist certain elements which are identical with those existing in all other human beings, and therefore one with the latter. Consequently, individual man only appears to be a separate being, while in fact the whole of humanity is a unity and one. It is merely the outward expression of the universal man which is manifest in many separate human forms. In other words, mankind is only one, but it appears in many millions of various masks, and sometimes with very inhuman habits, because the mask which the forms wear hinders their free evolutions. This mask is the personality of each man, the instrument through which Adam acts and which is full of imperfections. He in whom the terrestrial Adam has become the celestial Adam, the Christ, sees in every man and woman not only his brother or sister, but his own self. A person who injures another injures himself, for each man constitutes a power which acts upon humanity, and the good or evil he does will return to himself.